and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to talk about a legitimate horror classic. We are talking about John Carpenter's The Thing.
The Thing. This is movie number 2 on our 13 Days of Horror watch list.
It is.
And first time watch for me. I know you've seen this many a times.
I have maybe not as many as you might think.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch this one as often when I was a kid. I always thought it was a little slow.
Okay.
It wasn't until probably the past 10 years I've realized its greatness. So
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about The Thing. Before we do that, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like she said, this is our second day in our 13 Days of Horror series. We've already reviewed Joyride, but we also review new movies, TV shows. We do fun entertainment live streams every Monday night. Just all kinds of stuff. So hit the subscribe button.
And also like the video.
Like the video, like she said, and then comment down below. We know you got to have some thoughts about The Thing. This is an iconic horror movie from 1982. Let us know what they are in the comments section below. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you kick this off. First time watch. Don't disappoint me. Tell me what you think about The Thing. Just initial thoughts.
This movie is definitely, I feel like, highly praised. And, you know, I'll be honest, I see what the hype is.
Okay. You at least see what the hype is.
When did this come out again?
This came out in 1982.
Okay, so this, was back when they still really cared about practical effects. And so I can always appreciate that.
And I appreciate that you appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just always so much cooler to see practical effects. Obviously back then, you kind of had to do more practical effects, I guess. You didn't have all the technology that we have now. But nonetheless, I still love seeing, the practical effects in the older movies.
Yeah.
And this one definitely had some really cool scenes with that. And so
there's just something about seeing a group of guys get together and just make stuff with their hands, They just make all this stuff practically versus just people that are at a computer,
Well, I mean,
and I know there's more. I'm simplifying it. There's more to it than that, but it just, I don't know. I go back and watch movies like this and I'm like, why? They just need to go back to doing stuff like this. I feel like because CGI's just gotten too expensive. It's out of control. They overuse it. Now, there's some movies nowadays that will, incorporate some CGI, but also do practical, do a mix of both. So, but yeah, this is just legendary for its practical effects. I'd say that's probably what it's the most known for. But other than that, it's, a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, besides the practical effects, I felt like the story was good. It's a little, they definitely don't tell you everything, but I feel like it was enough to where you understood what was going on. And I know you said that many years later they made a second one that kind of goes back and explains everything.
Yeah, well, they didn't make a sequel. They made a prequel.
Oh, okay.
It takes place the events before this movie, which I think is pretty cool. I like the prequel movie.
Yeah.
But they use CGI. So to use CGI on a movie that is known for its practical special makeup effects was a big mistake. So that's why that movie kind of gets shit on sometimes.
Yeah, but
I think it's a really good movie though. Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, based on this one, I would like to go, and see the
It's a good cast, too. It's
one.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Joel Edgerton's in it, so it's got some well-known actors in it.
Gotcha.
So it came out in 2011.
Yeah, so, I don't know. There's definitely some, good suspense moments, just the not completely knowing who's been affected and who's going to be next and all of that kind of stuff. So it was a fun movie for sure.
Yeah, and definitely because I know you were talking to me in the beginning. When the dog enters the facility.
Yeah.
And he goes into the room with the guy. You're like, are they just gonna not show the stuff the whole time? I'm like, no. This is what movies did back then.
So obviously
they were paced differently.
Right, with The Thing, it's essentially this alien that's come to Earth and is.
Thousands of years ago.
I mean, would you say body snatching or?
I'd say this is influenced. Well, there was a thing in the 50s. It was called The Thing from Another World. And that was just straight up an alien came, landed on the Arctic facility and attacked people. And it was just a Martian.
Right, but I mean, like, essentially the alien is, like, body snatching,
that's what I was
right?
going to say. What John Carpenter did was he took that premise and he took the setting, but he did apply, like, evasions of the body snatchers kind of plot to it, kind of plot device to it.
Yeah, only I guess with body snatching, like, something that was different about this was it would go into a life, you know, whether it be an animal or a human.
Yeah.
And it did something with the, like, DNA or the blood.
What it did was, and they tried to explain it throughout, which they do a really good job of, but they tried to clone it. It clones human cells to look identical to the humans, where you can't tell them apart. So when it goes into you, it's virtually the same.
Yeah.
Cell.
Yeah, so, you know, it's definitely, I feel like, a well thought out, you know, movie and plot. You know, you mentioned earlier that as a kid you felt like it was a little slow. You know, even being an adult, there definitely are some slower parts, and I feel like this movie is quite long, isn't it?
Well, I think it was like an hour and 48. So
yeah,
it's not quite 2 hours, but it's close.
Yeah, it's pretty long, and I do feel like it probably could have been shorter. But all in all, it was a really good movie, and I'm happy that I finally saw it. And also, I can't believe I haven't got into this yet. So, you know, immediately I see, you know, obviously that Kurt Russell is in this movie.
Russell, very early role for Kurt Russell. He'd only really done like Escape from New York and, you know, a few other movies before that, but
yeah, and I mean, I do like him. You know, I can't really say that I've seen all of his old stuff. I've seen like him in Christmas Chronicles, like the new stuff where he's Santa, and I don't know, I just really enjoy seeing him, and so it's cool to like see him back when he was, you know, young and everything. And I kind of made a joke with you. I'm like, you want to talk about a good looking man? It's Kurt Russell. Like,
I can't not agree with that.
And I made a joke that he's like still a good looking man, and like, how old is he now? Like late 70s?
He's got to be in his 70s. But yeah, Kurt Russell's just been, he was never like a superstar like Schwarzenegger or Stallone, but he's always been there through the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, and just got a really solid career and body of work.
I mean, I feel like him and Goldie Hawn, like, they're definitely a power couple.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was cool to see him in it, and, you know, obviously he's like the main character. I do feel like this movie does a really good job at like everybody. I feel like, I don't know, like he's the main character, but I feel like everybody else has pretty big parts as well, even though there are several of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it is very much a movie that as you progress, more people get picked off and the group gets smaller. So in the beginning, you're kind of like, I know you were confused, like who was who, but as the group shrinks down, you kind of know.
Someone would kind of go missing, and I'd be like, okay, who are they looking for again? And so, but yeah, I don't know.
Not even I know all the character names and stuff like that. I've probably seen this movie maybe 10 or 11 times at this point.
But yeah, again, I'll just say this, touching on the practical effects one last time. Like I mentioned earlier, there's quite a few like whoa scenes with the practical effects, and so
I was telling you, you're like, are they just gonna do this the whole time? I was like, no, this movie goes for it several times. Just wait. Yeah,
like it was just very over the top, but it just looked so good and real. And I mean, like, they just really go for it. Like all of the, like, there's like tentacles coming out and like liquid squirting everywhere and heads coming out, and I don't know, there's just like a lot going on, but again, it's just so like cool.
My favorite is when he's doing CPR on the guy and it opens up and his hands get chopped off.
Yeah, the stomach like opens like a mouth.
The guy's head comes out and the head detaches while they're on it. So
oh my gosh,
some of the best stuff.
One of the scenes that was crazy was when the guy's head like falls off and it turns into a spider.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like
that to me is like the big set piece of the movie.
I was like
that moment's like, that's what I think of when I think of The Thing and the practical effects is that scene in the middle of the movie. And the dog scene's also pretty great
several really great ones.
I'll just say this, I know this isn't a physical media channel, but we did watch this on 4K. I hadn't yet watched this on 4K on my new OLED TV, and it just looked amazing. This is one of the best 4Ks out there. I thought it looked so good.
I'm not much into like Blu-ray versus 4K, but I will say that it did look really good. It was very like crisp and clear and vivid, and it just
like
it looked
if that
nice.
movie came out today and we went to the theater to see
right,
it,
it was
and
very
it was a new movie, would
comparable.
you be impressed by it?
Yeah.
It was a movie. Yeah, that's the sign of like a truly great movie, one that just transcends time
great.
and is still good. But yeah, I think The Thing is just it moves up for me every single time I watch it. It's definitely securely in my top 3 horror films of all time. I just think I think it's a masterpiece. I know, John Carpenter did Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would say that's his best horror movie. I think The Thing is his best horror movie by far. I just think it's his masterpiece. He did it 4 years after Halloween. And I don't think he's made a movie. Not that he hasn't made great movies, but I don't think he's made a movie as good as The Thing since.
Well, I know you said that when this came out in theaters, it actually didn't do very well.
No, it bombed. It came out the same weekend as another very iconic sci-fi movie, Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott, came out.
Yeah.
And they both bombed to E.T., which had just come out like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they definitely both grew an audience over time, and people definitely appreciate them a lot more now. But
So I want to get into the rating.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about The Thing. It's a masterpiece. I feel like I should say so much more. I just think it's brilliantly performed and directed, and cinematography and music. And I know you weren't a fan of the music, but
no, I felt like
I loved it.
I just felt like there wasn't much to it. It was
very subtle, but the whole movie's subtle.
Yeah, I mean it was very simple, and a lot of like I don't know what you would call it, like thumping or
boom boom boom.
But yeah, I don't
Legendary
know
Ennio Morricone did the score. So but yeah, ratings. You want to do ratings?
Do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you've probably
for me it's very easy. Yeah.
Okay, well, don't hate me, but I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh my God, a 4 out of a 5.
What? That's good.
I would give this a 10 out of 5 if I could. This is a 5 out of a 5. Easy.
Okay.
Just one of the best movies ever made. And but I'm glad that you appreciate it.
I'm glad. Are you Mario?
I'm glad.
I'm glad.
I didn't expect you to give this a 5 out of 5. I was just hoping that you would like it, so I'm happy that you at
Were
least
you hoping like
liked
for a 4
movie.
or above, or were you hoping like 4.5?
I was hoping for 4.5. I was pulling for it. Kurt Russell is a good-looking man, right?
I mean, I thought
he
about
had those
it.
baby
I
blue
did.
eyes in 4K, and they look pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I found myself, even with all of the amazing things, I did find myself getting a little bored at times, and so I don't know. 4 out of 5, which is still really solid. Okay,
it's solid, but yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. Easy. The Thing is just one of the greatest movies ever made. Every time I watch it, I'm just infinitely impressed by the movie. So thank you all for watching, though. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and also comment your thoughts on The Thing down below in the description. We got more reviews coming, 11 more in the 13 days of horror, so definitely look out for that. Turn on bell notifications. Follow us on all the links down below in the description, or other social media accounts, Instagram, and we'll see you next time.